Wingardium, oh bollocks, wrong one. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald is directed by David Yates and stars our favourite man who talks with half of his face, Eddie Redmayne. He is back as the animal collecting Newt Scamander, and this time after the events of the first film where Grindelwald is arrested, he escapes prison and Newt is brought on by Albus Dumbledore to go and stop him. Now, I, like the rest of the world and especially the rest of the UK, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and I liked the first movie of the Fantastic Beasts franchise, so I should like this one, right? Well, I thought I'd love it. Listen, as I said before, I love the Harry Potter franchise and I like Eddie Redmayne. I'm a huge fan of a lot of his films, not mentioning some whispery, shitty ones. And I love the whole wizarding world that they've put together, but for this movie, I had a lot of outstanding, fully light-glaring issues. But before all that, let me just say, I like Newt Scamander. I like Eddie Redmayne back. He clearly enjoys playing Newt Scamander. He has a lot of fun with it. He still does all the weird shit like he did before, while, you know, that weird rhino thing, trying to get it back in the case. He does the same sort of thing in this. He has a real connection to what he's doing. I like the fact that they are doing, this is now officially like a 5-movie franchise. That's okay. I think seeing more of him is cool. I also like Grindelwald's whole speech thing he does in the movie. He mentions World War II in it, and he has a really cool montage made out of flames. I love that. I also love his reasons for what he's doing. I love a villain who actually gives a shit about something to actually do it and not just be, I want to take over the world, where's my cat to stroke, all that bollocks. I like all that. But let's get to that all-important fun bad shit. The main thing that stood out for me was the branching storylines. For some reason, David Yates, who is famous mainly for directing more than a few Harry Potter films, decides to just cram every piece of shit that he can into this movie so that he can sort of build on for the next. Look, David, we know there's more films coming out in this franchise. You don't need to tell me stupid shit like, I don't know who my parents are, or all these really small things in the grand scheme of things. Like, this whole movie is about a wizard trying to take over the world, and we know how that went the first time. Things went really wrong. So why on earth would you decide to then cram 4 stories into this? The film was really interesting when the main story came along, but all the little ones seem to just shut the movie dead for me. Like, I don't know who, an identity crisis and all this kind of thing. I don't get it, honestly. Just stick with one story, please. Oh, just maybe one branching story, but not like 4. That also brings me on to this. It's called The Crimes of fucking Grindelwald, but where is he? Honestly, now my fiancée doesn't agree with me on this. She seems to think he's in it a lot more. But for me, if Grindelwald was in this movie, he was either doing nothing or he was not in it. It's called The Crimes of Grindelwald. All he really does is what he did in the first film, and he escapes the prison at the start. I don't see him do much else other than do rally cries, really. Maybe it's Johnny Depp's whole thing with Amber Heard, maybe, in that I would understand. But it felt to me like they cut a lot of him out and added these other stories in to ingratiate them or try and get them in. I don't know, but I could have. The whole Grindelwald and Newt thing was really good, and they just seemed to cut him out. I don't know. Which brings me on to Nagini. You hear that name in the trailer, and holy shit, yes! You know, this is Voldemort's snake. We're going to see what the snake was like before she changed forever. Yeah, don't worry about it. You barely see her. She just sort of cowers around a lot. Doesn't really. She changes once into the actual snake that we all know. It's a bit of a spoiler, but honestly, I would rather they saved her till like right at the end, so you knew. Maybe they're trying to see this is how she became evil. Fine, but you don't need another 3 movies to tell me that she just got a bit fed up. I'd rather they did it right at the end. You know, where just before she meets Voldemort or whatever. They didn't need to bring her in so early. She's kind of irrelevant in the movie. Not a lot of point to her, really, and that's just such a shame when you're bringing these really big names and they don't do anything. Unfortunately, this movie has many questions, and a lot of them we don't even want answering, really. Credence Barebone, I'm looking at you, because that whole arc that he has in this movie, he was badass in the first one, just shit in this one. There was no real point for me. It's too many questions that need to be answered. Maybe be answered in the next one, but you didn't need to cram all of them into this movie, really. Oh yeah, and one person who actually got his entire character and what they're all about, Jude Law. Well done, sir. You, as clearly the biggest character other than Harry Potter in this entire series, Dumbledore, fucking awesome. Well done, buddy. So good. Guys, with all of this being said, I am going to give Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald a 2.5 out of 5. So, there you have it, guys. There is my take on Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. If you have seen the movie, of course you have. It's Harry Potter. You've seen it all. Please let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Let's have a little chat about it. I love all that shit. And before you go, guys, please don't forget to tell your friends, like me, subscribe to me, do all that fun shit. Until next time, this is your friendly neighbourhood ginger guy saying, Ginge out!